Thank you.
I knew you were going to say that
Well, I appreciate it.
word. Well, I mean, do know you.
This is true. You definitely
say some
do.
choice shit.
Well,
But
listen, the company I keep,
there you
sir.
go.
The company I keep.
That is true.
You
That
know.
is true. Speaking of company, hello and welcome to another episode of In a Pickle, the show that is dedicated to the less glamorous side of sports. I am your host, Dave Houghton, and with me today, the executor of my will, Sarah Reitalik. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
That all
Hello.
goes in the trash.
Oh yeah.
Everything I own, trash. Yeah, we can just trash this. Bring the dumpster in.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in. Back it up. I was.
Back that
It's more of the living will. Like I'm just like DNR. Pull the plug. Let's
Oh,
fucking go.
Yeah, let's get DNR tattooed on his chest and then push him down a flight of stairs, please. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
it's,
whatever.
We just want to see how much you bounce.
Yeah. Well, in water, I have a lot of buoyancy. So.
Same. I can't. Like I pop right back up.
Yeah. Well.
Like I can't. Shit floats, baby. Shit floats.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was
am
gonna
the
say
shit.
sometimes our tits are too big, but I mean, whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Yeah. Shit floats. My father used to say that to my mother all the time when my mother would say, "Oh, drop me off at the front door, sugar melts." And my father would say, "Yeah, and shit floats." Now, I'm not sure if he was meaning that my mother was shit and she would float, or like he would float and or shit would float.
All of the above is what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah. But whatever, here we are, another week of In a Pickle. Thank you
Another
so
week.
much for listening.
Yes.
Go over to the IAPradio.com to follow us on all of our social media places. And follow, subscribe, and boost us up the charts. Get this show rolling.
Well,
As
yeah,
the kids would say in 99 for Limp Bizkit.
Ugh.
Right?
Ugh.
Right?
I guess.
I mean, start a riot at Woodstock after girls.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that the city of Boston is actually still standing. I was going to ask you, I'm so curious how the Bruins fans have been.
At the garden area, there was, the other day, there was several protesters holding up signs that say Puck Sweeney on it. And I wrote a message on the A board that goes outside of our business that says Fire Sweeney. And I pointed it right towards his office. So he
There
can
you
see
go.
it. On the other side, it says Fire Neely. So,
Yes.
yeah, people aren't too happy. And then as of recording time right now, the Bruins are playing the Florida Panthers. I'm sure there's a tribute video for Marchand, even though he's not playing today. But I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark and say that he is traveling with the team, with the Panthers.
I would think, and
I would hope.
I would hope, and he's probably here to also see
Pack
some
up
of the
his shit.
guys. Yeah, right.
Well, I guess I gotta pack
Oh.
up my house.
I mean, the fact that he had dinner plans with Swayman and he's like,
Right.
yeah, I gotta go. And the
Yeah.
Swayman's just like, what?
If we know anything about Swayman, I bet you that he would have went to dinner with Marchand, and then when the check arrived, he would probably get up to use the bathroom and never return
Dip.
because he's a fucking con artist. So,
Dip.
yeah, I'm gonna hold out because I want to hire a higher paycheck, and then we give him the higher paycheck, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I fucking suck at hockey. By the way, in case you
Tis the
didn't know."
Bruins.
Swayman, if you're listening,
Tis.
I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd probably agree and then dip out halfway through.
Yeah. He'd be like,
Yeah.
his video completely clear. He'd be like,
Yeah.
and just
I'm
bounce.
having internet.
hmm
I think they bought it. They bought my internet problems. Haha, suckers. Swayman, we can hear you. And he just hangs up the call. He still has America Online, so he just picks up the phone. And it cuts the feed. Oh, man. Yeah, so needless to say, things are a little gloomy on the west side of Boston.
Womp
So,
womp.
And it sucks in a financial standpoint because the Bruins are the bread and butter of the bar.
It's true.
So we only get one playoff team this year instead of two. So Sarah, I'm going to ask you if I could move in to your house sometime soon. So
That's a no for me, dog.
get the couch ready for you, and me and your husband will share the bed. So
Actually, I like the couch, so
yeah,
that's fine. And
perfect.
you can spoon. You guys can duke out who's gonna be the big spoon and the little spoon. But I feel
Uh,
like you're a little spoon.
I would love to be a little spoon. I would love someone to hold me. Anyways, all right. So we got to rewind plus some more bullshit news that it's very
It's just
crazy.
it's yeah, and I sent you something that we just had a
Yeah,
quick
I figured
little
that was gonna
news
just
break
tie in.
today. So
It's
that's gonna
very
tie into the news. This is a very interesting episode.
minus the rewind and the big pickle. It's very PED heavy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
All right. So
let's
let's kick it off
begin
with
the
the rewind.
rewind.
We got our old scumbag piece of shit, Sean Higgins, back in the news. So
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, what is going on with him?
So yes, good old boy Sean. What a fucking clown. So this
Sean,
guy,
what a fucking clown Higgins, I think is his full name.
I think that's
Yeah,
what is even said on the birth
I
certificate.
think so. Yeah.
So this guy and his defense team have now moved on to playing the blame game. And rather than take any responsibility, he is putting the blame on the Goudreau brothers. And in the court documents, Higgins, we know, had a blood alcohol level of 0.087 or whatever it is. Yeah, 0.087,
Yeah.
which is just above the legal limit. However, he is claiming that the Goudreau brothers had a higher blood alcohol content than he did.
So because
Now,
they were drunk, they made him ram their car into them.
that's what he's claiming. So, yeah, the reports do confirm that they had very high blood alcohol contents.
Yeah.
Um, You had 0.129 for Johnny and 0.134 for his brother. And the big difference here and in the state of New Jersey is that they were riding bicycles, not driving vehicles.
True. True.
So
So there's no DUI laws on that one. Yeah.
incorrect.
Yeah.
So this now is dragging it out more so and why we haven't had a trial yet and why he is still in custody. And rather than him taking any accountability, because before he hit them, we have to remember, before he hit them, he was driving recklessly and erratically.
Right.
So it's something that he's taking zero ownership of, even prior to hitting them. And the public is getting more and more pissed
Well,
as the
because
time
I
goes
mean,
on.
you're really grasping at straws here. It's like, okay, so the brothers had a little bit of, well, a lot of bit, more alcohol than he did in his system, right? But they're not driving a fucking car. They're
No.
driving their bicycles up the
Ugh.
dirt road.
Yes, that's the
And
thing.
I mean,
Like,
unless
ugh.
these two guys were being assholes and like they were racing each other side by side and then like zigzagging through traffic, then it's like, okay, well,
What are we doing here? But
that's an
they,
accident waiting to happen. But it didn't seem like that was the case.
mm-mm. No,
Higgins was driving like an asshole, trying to pass on
everybody
the
on the
left.
shoulder, on the
Yeah,
left, on the right. He was just trying to pass all the cars.
right.
And he had open containers.
Right,
Like,
right. That's
so
another thing that we always forget about. Like, not only was he drunk driving, but he also had open containers in his car.
correct. So he
I mean,
was not
unless the brothers had a Gatorade bottle filled with booze, then
been
like,
there, baby, been
yeah,
there.
of course, who hasn't? Who
Who
hasn't driven a
hasn't?
bike drunk? You know, shit, that's how you got around back in the day.
True story.
So I mean,
Yeah.
like, how? What? So what are we waiting on now? Now that we know the brothers were drunk, like, what are we doing?
This is what we're waiting for is to see what the state says. The state is just like take ownership of like apologize or say something or be like,
Right.
you know, like I did this and I'm sorry. Like he from the start has not taken any ownership.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
that's definitely another thing, a big to do with that. Like, no matter what, no matter who was drunk, you still hit them.
you
It
still
was
hit them.
still your fault, whether you were drunk or whether you were not. You were driving like an asshole or you weren't. You still hit them and they both died. At
Right.
least apologize. At
Like
least
something
apologize.
like the fact he could be he he could say like listen, this was an accident. I'm so sorry that this happened and yeah, he could even like keep out the fact that he was intoxicated and just say, you know, I was a little reckless and I'm really sorry and my
Mhm.
heart goes out to the Goudreau family. You know what I mean? Like he
Right.
could say something
Right.
and the state wouldn't be as like fuck off, dude. But yeah, like this has now been months and this dude is just like not there's nothing. And
Yeah.
the thing is too is it's making it look worse and worse. If he was a little bit more sympathetic, especially a person who has kids,
Right.
like imagine if it was your kids riding bikes on the
Right.
side of the road. How would
Right.
you feel as a parent? So that's the thing that I'm circling back to. Like, if this dude had him and his defense team were a little bit more like, you know, we're cooperating, we're so sorry, our hearts hurt, we're gonna figure this out, and still pled not guilty, then the he it would be a little bit there might be some lenience.
Yeah.
And I get it. At the same point in time, on the flip side, he can't apologize because then it's him basically admitting guilt in a sense. But regardless, you hit
Yeah.
them
But
and killed
regardless,
them.
you did it,
You did it. So
you
it's
know?
like whether you did it intentionally or we know it was an accident.
Right.
Regardless, we
I mean,
know it
that's
was
the
an
thing. We
accident.
all know it was an accident.
We all know it was an accident, but it's like sometimes the actions that you have like you do like the actions that you choose may have consequences.
100%.
He chose to drink, get behind the wheel, and drink while driving. Not just
Hmm.
drink and drive. He was drinking while driving. Like this was
Right.
1965 for crying out loud. Good for him.
Back when it was legal.
Right. Now it is
Yeah.
not. Because more kids on bikes died.
Right.
That's
You
why they were
know?
like, "Ooh, we need to do something about this."
Maybe that's what Trump's talking about when he says make America great again. Make drunk driving legal again.
Maybe.
You know?
God, I'd be drunk all the time.
Wow.
Imagine.
You would be pounding beers on the highway coming home.
You would see the video of just my vehicle going off the side of the tow bin, and it's
Yeah.
just like the end of fucking Thelma and Louise when they're going off the cliff.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
just that's just my car.
Yeah.
Where's that asteroid?
Instead of you holding hands with Louise, you're just holding hands with Bud Light.
Wise. Brr.
Oh boy. All right. So, I mean, maybe if he just apologized and took ownership of this whole thing, maybe this whole thing would be over with and he would get his sentencing. And who knows? It could have been a lighter sentence if
It could have
he
been a lighter sentence if he showed any sort of compassion.
now, I mean, if I'm the
Now
judge, I'm
this
going for the throat here. Or if
and
I'm
this
the
judge,
lawyer, you
yeah,
know?
this judge that they have in the state are like they're like, yeah, dude, you have some records here that have been swept under because of your military background.
Right.
We're not going to let this slide, sir.
Oh well. All right, let's get into
Ugh.
the news and get something lighthearted ish, I guess. Uh,
Ish.
when this story came out, I was like, yeah, we knew that in the 90s.
Correct.
Like, why is
This,
he coming out now? Is he
well,
eligible for the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. How would he, of all people, be eligible for the Hall of Fame?
I don't
I
know. Is he
could
in the
not
Red
see
Sox
him.
Hall of Fame? He must be in the Red
He
Sox Hall of
has to
Fame, right? He
be. I
has to be.
mean, good Lord.
Yeah.
Good old Mo Vaughn,
Move
or
on.
who I call Tovon because I am not a Mo Vaughn fan.
Not a Move on fan.
Not a Mo
Get
Vaughn
out of
fan.
here.
It's true. I do not care for
Wow.
Mo Vaughn. Never have.
No shit.
Yeah.
He was like the poor man's David Ortiz.
Yeah. Well, didn't give a fuck about him. Still don't.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what is Mo Vaughn doing?
So he is out here in the streets confirming that he used HGH.
Yeah. I mean, again,
We all knew.
we knew that.
We knew this. Yeah. So he's saying that he was using it to recover from a nagging knee injury late in his career.
Oh, it wasn't when he stubbed his toe coming out of the Mets bullpens or the Mets
Right?
dugout.
Fucking
Was it the Mets
guy.
or the Angels? No, it was the Mets.
The Mets. Yeah,
He
it was
went Red Sox
yeah.
to Mets, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
He's the poor man's Chris Sale.
Ah, he's the poor man something.
Yeah. So he said that he had a degenerative knee and was shooting HGH into it because he wanted to do everything he could to have his career last. Okay, like
Okay. I
we
get it. A lot of
we
guys did it
know,
back then. I get it.
correct.
Yeah. But
And it's
why are you coming out now? Is I
zero
don't know.
sense. And maybe I have the feeling in a way that he could be strapped for cash and trying to make himself relevant again and is going to do like podcast circuits.
That's fuck. I didn't even think about that. That's true. He must. Oh, now I have to see what his yeah career total earnings is because I mean, yeah. Go ahead. So
Okay, so now if we also remember, he was one of the many, many, many players that were listed in the 2007, so the 2007 Mitchell report.
yeah,
And you remember there's so many players. And we knew. Everybody knew.
right.
Everybody in Boston knew. And we were just like, because everyone was doing it at that time.
He is in the Red
Uh,
Sox Hall of Fame, by the way. And it
obviously.
went Red Sox, Angels, then Mets.
Uh,
Yeah. So
whatever.
we
It's
were
a
wrong.
mess. The report, if those remember back in '07, said that it had evidence that Vaughn made three separate purchases of HGH in 2001.
Hmm.
Now we have to also reference that this was before the ban of HGH in the MLB in '05.
Yeah. So technically, he's not really doing anything wrong, anyways, right?
Correct, because it was still a legal substance
Yeah.
at the time. But, you know, it's something that I guess because maybe Sammy Sosa's come out and he's like, well, let me just ride this wave.
But
And,
I
but
mean,
Sam,
Sammy Sosa has a legitimate shot at going into the Hall of Fame. Kinda.
right,
He's
kinda.
got a better shot of going into the Hall of Fame than Mo Vaughn does.
Correct. And the other thing too is I also feel that Sammy Sosa is also hard up on cash too because he wants to be paraded around Wrigley and that's why he came out with
Well,
it.
I think the thing with Sammy Sosa is he sees a market there where he can be the king of Wrigley Field. I mean, Mo Vaughn would not. Mo, I
No,
mean,
woof.
let's be
Let's
honest.
call it what it is.
Mo Vaughn was
Ugh.
a good player on the Red Sox, but he was no like special thing. You
No,
know,
there's so
like
many other kings that we have. I
I mean, he was
mean,
a three-time All-Star. Yeah, he's in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. I mean, he had a good career when he was with the Red Sox, but that's as far as that goes. He didn't do shit with the Anaheim, and he did nothing with the Mets except break his toe.
he looks like a fucking
Uh,
toe.
he made over $100 million in his career, and Sammy Sosa is not too far behind him. He made $124 million in his baseball career.
Mm.
This has nothing to do with
To do with
endorsements.
anything else. Yeah,
So
this is just strictly baseball.
you could be correct in saying that they are hard up for cash. I believe that in the
Sammy Sosa
Sosa,
has more to gain for it.
that's exactly what I was trying to say. Sammy Sosa
Yeah.
definitely has more to gain because he could be the face of Wrigley, where Mo Vaughn would just be, I
Face.
mean, he has done work with the Red Sox broadcasting network with Nesson. You
Yeah,
know, I've
but
seen him on.
he's just not good.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, do you remember when he flipped his truck going to the strip club in Rhode Island?
I totally forgot about
Yeah, I mean, that's the
that.
whole reason why I do this show, is to talk about shit like that.
Totally forgot about
I
that.
mean, the cops found him and his pickup truck was flipped over on the roof and he's just sitting on the curb. And the
He's
cop's
like,
like,
yeah.
let me give you a ride back.
Yeah.
You know? But I
Oh
mean,
my God. Totally
yeah, I
forgot about
mean,
that.
but he probably Mo Vaughn could probably benefit from coming out. You know, maybe he's going to do a book, you
He's
know.
gonna do the podcast circuit. You
Yeah,
watch and see. He'll do the
yeah,
podcast circuit because this news broke over the weekend and it was fucking everywhere.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Everywhere.
I mean,
And I was
especially
like,
here in Boston. Of course that's
yeah.
going to be everywhere.
But I'm like, what are you trying to do? What are we gaining from this? Like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna gain anything because we already knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? Well, I mean, we will see why he's trying to come out and say this. And honestly, I feel like it's just he released this news yesterday, Monday, March 10th. I mean, and here we are, Tuesday, March 11th. Everyone's kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah, was that? I thought it was like Sunday.
It could have been Sunday, but either
But
way,
either way,
potato
like it's
potato.
so like, meh,
Yeah,
like
nobody
whatever.
cared. Everybody, like,
No,
I bet you everybody in Boston did the same exact thing that you and I did. When breaking news, Mo Vaughn comes out and says that he took HGH back in 2000. And then we
no
all said
shit.
the same thing. Yeah, no shit.
No shit. We
Yeah,
all said the same thing. No shit.
we
I
knew
think
that.
that and the other thing too, it's like you're releasing this when the Boston sports just took a hard hit with the Bruins trading their captain.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why I fell on deaf ears is because,
Yeah, he could have waited until like the week before opening day and dropped this bombshell and it would have got more traction.
yeah, it definitely would have been bigger news, you
Yeah.
know? But, maybe the Red Sox will fucking parade him around on
I
opening
don't
day
think
or
so.
some
I
shit.
don't
I
think
don't
they
know.
will. He's just not that charismatic of a guy, and he's not that guy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They parade Poppy, they parade Pedro.
Yeah.
Dude, even when Manny makes his way up here, like it's great to see him and
Could they parade him to the Green Monster so he could take a piss
and then
in
that's
the
it.
back and then
Then
he
he
comes
yeah,
out?
then he comes
Yeah.
out and then he leaves
Red
because
Sox Hall
Manny
of
being
Fame. I
Manny.
would like to know why he's in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Because it was probably a class where they had nobody to induct.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I'd like to take a deep dive and see
Because remember those
what.
years when there were some bad fucking
Oh yeah,
teams. Bad.
I would love to take a deep dive and see what, like, who's in the Red Sox Hall of Fame that you're like, huh? Why?
Who?
Like,
What?
is Jared Saltalamacchia there?
Maybe.
I mean, he's got a better Red Sox career than Mo Vaughn.
Hmm.
I mean, considering the fact that he won a World Series with the Red Sox,
Right.
I'm gonna do a little deep dive and then
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, it's something where they ran out of decent players.
yeah,
And
they
they were
had
like,
to.
oh, here's our decent. He's the fucking Antoine Walker of the fucking Red Sox.
Yeah, I could see that. I
Remember,
could definitely see that.
Antoine Walker was all hype, and then he was just like, meh,
Right. Well,
meh.
here I am.
Who? I always forgot that he played for the Celtics too. Everyone's like, oh yeah, remember those Antoine Walker years? And I'm like, no.
All right, so Mo Vaughn was selected in he was elected into the Red Sox Hall of Fame in 2008. That year, such players as Mike Greenwell, who I absolutely adored growing up,
Love Mike
that he was
Greenwell.
in that
Yep.
class. Bill Lee was in that
Okay,
class.
solid,
That's a good
solid.
one. Frank Sullivan, who I'm not familiar with. He played in 53 to 60. I'm sure he was something. And then you have George Digby. He was a scout from 1944 to 2009.
What?
Holy shit.
Good Lord.
Wipe the dust off that guy, huh?
Good Lord.
And
Oh,
then you had an
jeez.
executive who worked there. Edward F. Kennedy Sr., 48 to 91, he worked with the Red Sox.
So it's what you're just reading to me is the last bit of those 90s players that were solid.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. Because then in 2010, they don't do it they do it every
they do it
other
every other,
year.
yeah.
Oh, look at that. 2010, the only 90s player to make it to the Red Sox Hall of Fame was John Valentin. And Don Zimmer was elected.
Oh
Don
God.
Zimmer. They should have elected his fucking head rolling on the floor when Pedro threw him. They should have elected Don Zimmer and Pedro at the same
And at
time.
the same time.
And then 2012, Ellis Burks and Marty Barrett
Ah.
were elected, and then Kurt Schilling. But he wasn't. I mean, I know Kurt Schilling was
Well,
whatever.
he's yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So far, the best
Yeah.
class looking is Joe Castiglione, Roger Clemens, Nomar Garcia Power, and Pedro Martinez in 2014. Now,
24th. Yeah, that's a
that's a fucking
class.
solid class right
Well,
there.
even this last class that they had was like Pedroia. Um,
The last class was Pedroia, Papelbon, Nixon, and then somebody from the front office.
yeah, how good is that class? That's a
Friend of the
fucking
show, Jonathan
solid.
Papelbon. All right, we're
Yeah.
spending too much time on
Oh
Mo
no,
Vaughn.
talking about the Red Sox. Hey,
Let's
listen,
go.
opening day's coming. Opening
I
day's
can't
coming.
wait, baby.
Baseball's
It's a
coming
holiday
back.
in my house.
You
April
know?
4th. We'll be out there sucking on chili dogs outside the Tasty Freeze.
All right. While you're shoving glizzies down your
Glizzies,
gullet,
glizz, glizz, glizz.
glizzy
Like a
splash.
seagull, Sarah. I'm gonna eat hot dogs like a fucking seagull.
Please make that the clip.
Opening day hot dogs sliding right down my gullet.
Yeah, then you're in the glory hole swallowing other things down
All
your
right, what
gullet.
else is going on? So now
All
we got
right, let's stick with the
PEDs running the
PEDs.
rampant here,
Shoop,
both
shoop, shoop,
in
shoop, shoop.
multiple sports, I might add.
All the sports. All the
Wow.
sports. Here we go. So we're gonna you know what? Let's jump into the one that broke just a little bit ago. And shout out to Alejandro for sending this my way so that I could send it to your way. Let's talk about Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Drake Stoops, right? Stoops.
Stoops. Yeah.
Stoops.
Stoops.
Stoops. I just like to say it,
Yeah.
like hanging up on the stoops.
Yeah.
He's the son of coaching legend Bob Stoops, but
Should
he's
I
done
know?
some.
I'm sorry. Should I know who Bob
I don't
Stoops
know
is?
who Bob Stoops is. He must be in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Coaching legend Bob Stoops.
I don't
Do
know.
I know you?
Let's check. I'm telling you, check the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Says here he was elected in 1964. They used to call him
All right.
Stoopies. Uh,
Well, his son over here, Drake, is pretty stoopies, if I may add.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Um,
Time out. Time out. I'm so sorry. Time out. Is this did that news article say coaching legend, son of coaching legend?
Coaching legend.
Okay, uh okay. He's got 10 Big 12 awards. He's a college coach, assistant. He was the head coach in Oklahoma.
Oh, see if I can't get it.
Um, okay. He's I guess yeah. You know why? No, no, I
Coaching
totally believe you. You know why
legend.
he's a coaching legend? Because he's got an XFL championship under his
Oh,
belt.
shut the fuck up.
XFL champion. He is the
Oh,
coach for
good.
the Arlington Renegades. That year they won the oh my God, Sarah, I can't even fucking make this up. I can't even fucking make this up. This is why nobody watches the XFL. One, because it's stupid. Two, because, well, it's fucking stupid. But the Arlington Renegades won the XFL Bowl, or whatever you want to call it, the
The
championship game.
the toilet bowl.
That year that the Arlington Renegades won the XFL Bowl, they were 4-6.
So
How does a fucking
how does
team
that
go four
happen?
and six and win the championship? That's Bob
How
Stoops,
does
baby. So what's his son do?
Um, it's
What the
his
fuck?
son was
What
not.
are we doing?
What is
What are we
going on?
even doing?
Who was that asteroid?
That's like saying
Uh,
Angel Reese is the best WNBA player ever,
oh my God.
right?
Isn't she? Ugh.
I mean,
So Stoops' son, well, he's a Stoops too. Drake, let's just call it, he's Drake.
hey, Drake.
He's they not like us.
Ugh,
A minor. Anyways, um, he has been suspended for 2 games without pay for violating the league's performance enhancements substance policy.
two
D
games. That's
two
it?
games. But here's the thing. He has not yet, so think of it, we're in the off season,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He has not actually played an official NFL game. He's only been part of the
Practice
practice
squad.
squad.
Yeah.
So he is like they were looking for him to play come next season,
Yeah.
but he will have to be sitting out 2 games because womp womp. Um,
Now, I wonder how that works. If you're just on the practice squad and you're suspended 2 games, I mean, you could be on the practice squad for like 5 years, and then when you finally get called up to the big table, you're like, hey, you got to sit out these 2 games. Remember that thing you
well,
did 5 years ago?
I think it's gonna be that he'll have to be on they put his name on the roster and they're like no sorry it's the actual games I would think I would
So
assume
you
that's
think
how
the
my
Rams
brain
would
would go.
do him a service and say, we're just gonna bring you up for these 2 games, let you be
Clear it
suspended, and
out
then
and
go
then
back
go
down to the
back.
practice squad. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, get it
maybe.
over with.
I mean he's able to
Yeah.
participate in training camp and all that shit so
Right.
I mean I just also the NFL could just be like we're just doing this to show that we're in good faith.
Oh, right. Look at us. We found someone that takes PEDs. So he's been suspended. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's not all. There's another league filled with
No.
suspensions now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna head over to the NHL real quick.
Yeah, haven't heard an NHL player getting suspended in a while, and this
It's
show has several.
right. Yes. So, Florida Panthers defenseman Aaron Ekblad,
Sounds like
Ek.
something
It's I'm like coughing it up, a hairball.
yeah, it sounds like something that like when you throw like slime on the floor and
It's
it
like,
just goes plog,
yeah,
you know.
Ekblad, Ekblad.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it 2 different ways, so
I
it
wouldn't
is
say it
what
at
it is.
all, actually.
It's like, I mean, I don't know what's worse, that or Aaron? I don't know. Um,
Aaron, I believe it's called.
oh yeah, Aaron.
Yeah,
Forgot
Aaron.
about
Yeah.
Aaron. So he was suspended for 20 games, 2-0,
Yeah, that's a big clip.
without pay
Wow.
for violating the NHL and NHL Players Association policy on PEDs.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's mighty. The NHL don't fuck around
No, nor
at
should
all.
they.
No. I mean, because you have to think about it. You don't want these juiced up, like, crazy people on skates. Like,
Right.
that's the last thing you fucking need.
That's true.
So Ekblad released a statement through the NHL Players Association and said that he failed a random drug test and was shocked. He was like, "Oh my God, it was shocking."
Me?
Me? Who? What?
Oh,
So he's like,
oh
yada,
my.
yada, yada. Let my teammates down, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. My poor, like, the team, the coaching staff, I'm sorry, blah, 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 disappointing the fans. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just like,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's,
how many games are left in this season? He's not going to be able to. Well, I mean, with Florida, is he a good player? I don't know anything about him.
yeah, he's decent. So
So he'll be
it's
playoff team. I mean, I
correct.
know he's on the playoff team.
He
He's
will,
playing for a
well,
playoff
yeah,
team.
because can you make these words happen, fuckface? Like,
No,
what are you
no, I
doing?
can't.
Um, he's a pretty solid defenseman for them. But if you
Oh, okay.
also look up pictures of him, he is fucking like he looks juiced. Like he looks definitely juiced.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious if like Brad Marchand gets in the locker room and is like, and then drops the dime.
Right. Right.
Like
Mm-mm.
fuck, fuck you, guy.
What's going on here
Because
with this
wasn't
guy?
wasn't he the one that punched Brad Marchand in the playoffs in the
Uh,
face? Was that him?
yeah, probably.
I feel like it was. I
I
could
don't
be wrong,
I don't
but
remember, but
yeah. So he was saying that he was taking the PEDs to help with injury because aren't they all taking it to help with injuries, right?
right.
Fucking A. He had and he was out in January, 8 games for an undisclosed upper body injury. So could be carried over, could be whatnot, but also still think that Brad Marchand dropped the dime. Um I'm just saying, like it just the time frame lines up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not far-fetched. He just like even though Marchand was going to make the team and he's not a defense player, I mean, he just want to be like, well,
I
I
have to
gotta
look
secure my spot.
while I'm reading this, seriously, look it up. I'm pretty sure it was Ekblad that punched him in the face during the playoff matchup of the Bruins and Florida.
All right.
Okay, so you asked the question, how many games are left in the season? Well, for Florida, we're at the end of it. He's going to miss the remainder of the regular season, and he's going to miss two first round games
Oh
for the
wow.
playoffs. So he's because there's like right now we're at the end of the season. There's like 16 to 18 games left at press time. Like there's that many games left. And yeah, he can come back for the playoffs, but if he's also not juiced up, we'll see what happens.
Right. Right.
Uh,
I don't have a definitive answer here.
fail. Interestingly enough, he is the first NHL player to be suspended for violating the policy since Nate Schmidt in 2018. And at that time, I'm pretty sure that Nate Schmidt played for Las Vegas. However, what is very interesting is that he is now Ekblad's fucking teammate in
Right.
Florida.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking interesting that you have the dude who was suspended in 2018 now is a teammate of the dude who's suspended in 2025.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
telling you, things just line up.
Yeah. Yeah. They always do. But he's not the only hockey player that has been suspended this year
He is
or
not.
this
Oh no, it
season.
was Sam Bennett who punched him. That was my bad.
Okay.
Same thing. They're all the
Same.
same.
Same but
It's
different.
fucking Florida.
Yeah.
But speaking of Florida, let's stay in Florida for a minute. And
Have at it.
let's talk about some more suspensions. Oh, geez. So,
Did you fall?
yeah, you heard that, right?
I heard that.
Good Lord. So forward, Maxim Grozhev, uh, Grozhev,
Bless you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Um, who plays in the AHL. For some reason, those letters together don't
You can't
compute in
say
my brain.
AHL?
AHL.
A
I know. A.
A
It's
H L.
A, you guys.
A.
Yeah, it's bad. So he plays in the AHL.
Oh my God. Just fucking roll over it. He plays for the Syracuse
Q's
Church.
crunch.
I know. Ah, fuck.
This is fucking. This is why we're not allowed to record at night.
Well,
Um,
this is why we don't have any big contracts from sponsorships or anything. You know what though? I've heard shows stupider than ours, and it's just like, you guys get fucking sponsorship. Is there someone doing something that I don't know about that gets people listeners and
I don't
sponsors?
know.
And
Vaughn might come knocking on our door.
well, he would just fucking stub his toe walking up my steps, so it doesn't matter. Either that. How funny would it be if Mo Vaughn pulled up pulled up to my house, but his fucking truck flipped over in the middle of the road. Well, that'd be a fucking sight to see. Hey, Mo, you okay? He just gets out. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Can I get a ride? Yeah, come on in." Oh, I broke my toe. Oh man, I'm gonna have to sleep here now because I'm poor. Oh.
Diane's like, and I'm moving out.
Diane's looking at me. She's like, "Is that fucking Mo Vaughn on our couch?" Like, Diane, you don't know any Red Sox player ever, but you know Mo Vaughn? Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. She only knows Mo Vaughn. That's it. It's probably because of the giant poster I have of him in our bedroom. The one where he has the can of dip in his pocket that he didn't get any pay for that poster because you could see the can of skull in his pocket. You remember that? You know exactly what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah, I get
Exactly what I'm
what
talking
you're
about. He got no royalty off that poster because you can clearly see the can of skull in his pocket. That's how
talking
bad luck Mo Vaughn had.
about.
This would be a
Oh,
great
it
time to take
hurts.
a nice commercial break. This episode of In a Pickle is brought to you by Skull. Go ahead and pack a lip. Just don't take a picture of her poster. Uh, Sarah's gonna need a new office chair because she totally pissed her pants.
Dude, I just the whole you painted a beautiful picture for me that there's I can't I can't go back on. It just was chef's kiss. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
You can find me at iapradio.com every Wednesday. Tell your friends.
I think I did pee a little.
All right, so this fucking guy gets
This
suspended because what did he do? I'm just
yeah,
going to help
so
you off. This guy plays for an
so
affiliated team that's from the Tampa Bay Lightning.
correct, yeah.
That
So
way you
we're
don't have
still
to
in
say
San
AHL or
Florida.
Syracuse Crunch anymore. So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
fucking I'm gonna you're gonna get crunched under Movan's truck.
He probably would.
Anyways, he was suspended for 10 games for racially insensitive language towards an opponent.
This isn't like that Mennonite thing, is it?
I
Do you
don't
remember
know.
do you remember
No,
that hockey
because
player
this
that
is
got suspended for Mennonite?
yeah, but that was up in Canada.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's not down here. It's a
I
lot
know, but
worse down here.
yeah. I wonder what
Sorry,
he said. Do you know what he said? Can you
I
say it out
don't
loud?
I don't know what he said, but I kind
All
of
right, tell me
have
off air.
some I kind of have some ideas what he may have said because he just, he's a Russian hockey player, so he could have said a whole lot of different things.
In Soviet Russia, hamburger will eat you.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
he could have even just brought up the Red Army and then
Oh yeah,
could have been a whole lot of different things.
yeah.
Anyways, he can appeal this suspension after 8 games, which is also kind of wild. Like, so he's just
Well,
gonna
what's the
wait till the
point?
eight. At that exactly makes zero sense to me. Um, so after that, so he can appeal it, and then he can take part in the NHL's Player Inclusion Coalition and make what is deemed by the AHL President and CEO Scott Howson as sufficient progress in the training program.
This guy's got to
So,
watch a fucking video like they show you at work when you do something wrong.
oh my God. Do you know that
Yeah.
like every time I love watching the harassment videos because it just gives me new clever ways to harass people.
Oh yeah.
Just not at,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do that stuff at work because like
Don't
I need
fucking
to
lie.
like
Don't fucking
I
lie.
need to pay my
You've definitely
bills.
gone up to one of your coworkers with your finger through your zipper and be like, "Hey, look at this."
It's just I'm not Michael Scott.
Oh, come on. Real quick before we get into the biggest pickle, did you see these fucking new era hats that just came out?
No, should I have?
They're ridiculous. So I'm gonna send you a picture so you can see it. So New Era made these brand new hats, right? And they
Okay.
have the name of the team or the city that is uh, that is the hat, but in the middle is the logo of your team, like the normal B that's on my hat,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
instead
yeah.
it, behind it says Boston. But these hats are so
Oh, the I saw the
shitty.
Texas one.
It says
That I did tea
Tito's.
ties. Yeah,
So
it
so
looks I was like, what is this?
the Texas hat, because it says Tito's, which could be confused for titties, has
Titties.
been pulled from the market because they deemed it inappropriate language. But all the other hats are just as fucking stupid as Tita's. I mean, for instance, the Boston Red Sox hat, it looks like it says Bob on. Um,
Well, I guess it's better than being Bob off.
yeah. There is there was another really funny one. Uh, well, the Miami one just says I.
I kind
Yeah.
of I want that.
There's the Astros, it looks like it says assholes. All right. I'm gonna send you this because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's going on with
Just keep the
any of
fucking
the new
classic
era.
hats.
I just make the classic hats, and
Just
please, if someone from New Era is listening, can you please make an 8 1/8 hat normal?
a one
Like
and one eighth hat.
8 1/8. I
Oh,
need an
eight.
eight
Well,
and one
because
eighth.
your head is
Yes.
giant.
Yes, I got a
Like
fat head.
fucking.
The Red Sox hat that I have right now is an 8 1/8. It fits beautiful, but the eight is a little tight, and then I need a little bigger hat. So
Well, oh
eight
my
and one eighth.
God. The Yankees one.
Yes.
Yeah, ease.
Nice.
Yeah, ease.
Yeah, these fucking hats are terrible. And who doesn't like Deoit?
Ash O's.
Yeah. Angels kind of looks like anal.
I was you yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna sidestep it, and
Yeah, no,
usually I
not me.
jump right in, but
Yeah.
you're
Who
dreaming about glissies and glories.
who's your favorite team? Oh, that's easy. It's the Olies. Yeah. All right, Sarah, let's get
All
into it.
right, let's get to this fucking pickle,
Who
sir.
is this week's biggest pickle?
All right, this week's biggest pickle is Odell Beckham Jr.
And who's that that chap that he's also named with
Oh, I don't.
hold on.
He's like some kind of
Some fucking YouTuber,
influencer,
right?
you guy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I
give
don't
a.
fucking know him.
But
I don't know.
apparently there are other people also named in it, but these two because they're so like they're bigger named.
Well, when this whole Diddy story broke out, you were the one that called it that there was going to be so many people
Choo
that are going to be
choo
named. And
choo
little by
choo.
little, I mean,
Bow
we
bow.
had kind of Jay-Z kind of sort of named, right?
I'm sure there's more.
And now we have OBJ being named. I mean, we also found out a little bit of the kinkiness that Odell Beckham has. Doesn't he like to get shitted on?
He likes a lot of things,
Yeah.
clearly. Yeah.
So why is Odell Beckham Jr. this week's biggest pickle?
So he is this week's biggest pickle for his name showing up in a lawsuit. In what kind of lawsuit? Well, in California federal court, there are allegations that he, along with Sean Diddy Combs and several others, were involved in a gang rape of a woman in 2018.
That's a yikes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my like awkward motion when I don't know what to say. I just
Yeah.
do this whole like hands, and I am that emoji with the little hands going
Do you
like,
remember the Austin Powers movies and the Asian guy who threw a shoe at
who throws a shoe?
yeah. Do you know that he's in jail for life because he was involved in a gang rape and he was a former professional athlete as well. He I think it was some
Ooh.
sort of
Shoe throwing competition that he was
no
involved. Shot put,
honestly I think he was a sumo wrestler.
sumo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he was coming up in the sumo world, he was part of some weird gang, like some I don't know what he is, like what nationality, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, I'm not sure. But he was in one of the gangs and they took a they did a gang rape and it took years and years before he got caught. And then, of course, he went on to make the Austin Powers movies, and then they found out that he did gang
Oh,
rape.
well, that's
So
what happens when you throw a shoe.
that's I think that's they got the DNA from the shoe that he
Yeah,
threw.
you don't throw a shoe.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this because this is interesting. So, this complaint, and now I just want to point this out, is that this woman has openly given her name. This isn't like,
Really?
yes. So,
That's
Ash,
something.
yep. So, when you start looking more and more at the Diddy lawsuits, there are some where they are like, I have no shame. Like, I'm
Right.
gonna give you my name. Like, he's already taken so much away from me. His people already took so much away from me. Like, fuck it. I don't care at this point. Or and then there's others who are genuinely scared for their children and their family and this and that. But I think that this just she's like, nah, fuck it. Here we are.
Yeah.
And here is why. And this is kudos to her. So this complaint was filed by Ashley Parham and an anonymous mother and son, Jane Doe and John Doe, who were allegedly kidnapped by a defendant posing as a law enforcement officer and witnessed the raping or the rape. Is it plural? Is it ing or I don't. Anyways,
All
I'm
right.
not gonna try to figure out the English for the word. It's
I think
just
it's just rape because it's one
yeah.
rape. I mean,
Well,
if you raped multiple people, you would be a rapist, not a raper,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Innerpickpod247 at gmail.com. Tell us,
Tell
raper
us.
or rapist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raper, rapist, raping. Like
Yeah.
word of the day, apparently. Anyhow, yeah.
Anyhow. Oh
Awkward.
my God.
This is just gonna fucking A.
Yeah.
So Parham originally filed her lawsuit last October, and at the time she did not identify Beckham by name. She didn't know his name. And then of course, here we are. We're in March. We had all the celebrities at Super Bowl weekend and doing this. So I'm sure she was like, that guy, that's the other guy. This is him. And showed like had like a screenshot or a whatnot. And they were like, oh, hey, we know him.
Right.
We know him. So, um, what this complaint is saying is that in February of 2018, Parham had met Shane Pierce. He's a restaurant manager and an acquaintance of Diddy. Parham said that he would try to constantly impress her by FaceTiming with Diddy. And she was like, "Yeah, nah. That doesn't that doesn't impress me."
Yeah.
And she one time when he was FaceTiming with Diddy, she was like, "Yeah, he clearly had something to do with Tupac's murder." Like,
Whoa.
good for you. Get
Wow.
it. Get it.
She came right out the
Yes.
gate, huh?
She came out hot and was like, ain't impressed. You shady. Yeah, that what don't trust you. You definitely were involved in Tupac's murder. So,
Uh, to sidestep this one, there was a recent interview with Keefe D, the person who has been accused of killing Tupac,
mhm,
and he is saying that he did not do it, and he was forced by someone, not naming
mhm.
names, to take the rap for it, and
We
that
all
he would,
know.
yeah, and this Keefe D said that this person told him to take the rap for it because things were getting out of hand and a little heavy, and then he would take care of his family. This person has not taken care of his family yet because he's
Yeah,
probably in jail,
yep, yep.
so
And the other
what?
thing too is that people who are in the know always point out that he has a tattoo on his heart and it's a skull with the blue bandana. It is
Mm.
fucking Tupac's. It's yeah. Anywho, let's move
Wow.
on because I'll go down a rabbit hole and this is
Yep.
crazy. So a month later, Parham visited Pierce's apartment, and this is in California. And while she was there, Diddy arrived with some of his friends and his people. And yeah, Diddy immediately started antagonizing her over her comments about him being involved in Tupac's death, and it escalated from there, with Diddy threatening to attack her with a knife, while another person with Diddy said they could sell her. So they
Oh,
were already like, okay, we could kill her or we could sell her into trafficking. Like,
right.
okay, like this is stand up people, stand up people.
Wow.
So she says she was then raped by multiple men, including Beckham, and then and drugged. Like, so she was drugged by them, and all this happened. And Diddy warned her not to tell anyone because nobody would believe her. And if she did, that Diddy would make sure that her family was harmed. So she did go and tell law enforcement. And what happened? They didn't take any of it
Of
seriously.
course not. Of
Yeah,
course not. They never do.
never do.
They
So
never
no
do until
charges were
it's too
brought
late.
up, nothing. Anyways, so Beckham goes ahead and has released a statement. All right.
All right.
I'm going to, thought I was going to burp there.
Oh,
Oh, there it goes. It was a
there it
tiny
is.
one. That was not a good one. That was disappointing. So he says, I have been informed of allegations about me in a suit in California. I really can't believe I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that matter. There's absolutely no truth to those allegations. I do not know or have ever met the person that filed the suit. I was not anywhere near Orinda, California at that time. In fact, I don't think I have ever been to Orinda, California. I have never done anything like that, and I would never do anything like that to anyone. I'm confident that these ridiculous claims against me will be dismissed.
Hmm.
But
You
remember
know,
that that
some
that that that
go on.
that Justin Bieber video that came out
Yep.
that was him and the Biebs in the club.
Yep.
So
And Bieber might have been sucking on Odell's chili dogs.
outside the Tasty Freeze.
Yeah.
And the
Um,
the thing is you're associated with Diddy, and you've
well,
been
that
associated with
right,
Diddy.
and that's a thing. Like you're associated with it. Like, uh, were you at these parties? Yeah. Yeah. Are you friends with Diddy? Yeah. Are you guilty
Mhm.
by association? Yeah. But you know what? You're probably also fucking guilty,
Correct.
to be honest. Like, uh, not trying to.
Yeah. I'm not, again,
Allegedly, we'll
innocent
see.
until proven guilty, all
Right.
that shit.
Right.
But some of the stuff tracks.
Yes.
Like it really does track. Like
Yes.
his behaviors, the people he hangs out with, he gets injured, has surgery, and then is like he's been hanging out with Kim Kardashian is then where he goes. And then Kim Kardashian was covering up for Diddy on a lot of like that family was covering up Diddy for a lot of things. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of different moving pieces and parts. So he aligned himself with these people when he stopped really caring about football.
I feel like the reason why we haven't had like a full rundown list of who's being named in the Diddy list
Oh, there's heavy hitters,
is
baby. There's heavy
because I
hitters.
bet you the Kardashians are on that list and they're too powerful to go down.
Oh, they are. So there's so many clips that keep circulating, especially the one of Chloe when she was at like 17 and she was at a party and
Yeah.
like she was like Diddy was there and this one was there and that one was there and
They were
yeah,
all
she's
in me
yeah, she was like
at the same
17.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I'm sure there's a lot of shit
or 18.
where
Maybe. I don't
it
know.
could be it could benefit their brand by saying that they were at these things if it comes out if one of it says that they just say they partook in some fucking Diddyism shit, right?
Shenanigans.
Then they can just easily come out and say, well, we were forced and here's proof.
Oh yeah. And there
They're
could
too powerful
be
to go down and they won't
they
there's no way in
won't.
hell
They
they won't.
won't. And
No.
you know what? You had so the secure Chris's boyfriend, Chris the mother's boyfriend, Corey was, oh my God, he was Kim Porter's quote unquote bodyguard. He was the one who like found Kim Porter's body. And Kim Porter was Diddy's ex-wife who died of
Oh,
pneumonia.
right, right. Oh, I forgot about that.
Because remember, everyone died of pneumonia. Like Heavy D died of pneumonia. Everyone who was in that first, the record company that started, everyone except for Diddy and one more person
Wait, you saying
died of
Diddy
pneumonia.
killed Heavy D?
Diddy killed Heavy D. I feel as though he definitely did.
The fuck?
You need to get, you need to
I gotta
get
get
in
in this
my
rabbit hole
world.
with you.
Let's
Holy
go.
shit! Wait a minute. I never. Oh, that's. You know what? We can't keep going on.
We can't.
Because
No.
this podcast will be 6 hours long and not make any sense because it won't be about sports anymore. We'll just do the Diddy files.
Well, you know what? It segues. You can go and listen to me talk about
Yeah,
music
go over
over
to Generation
Mixtape.
Mixtape and follow Sarah and listen to her podcast, gmtpod.com. All right, thank you so much for everybody for listening to this episode. We're sorry that we spoiled.
And yeah, we're sorry for anyone we offended and for our
no,
English.
I'm
and
not,
no, you don't. No.
We cannot be sorry for offending people because we're going to offend everybody at one point.
Well, I offend myself, so.
Yeah, you're offensive. As am I. Go over to iapradio.com and check out all of our social media accounts. Like, follow, subscribe, share, and boost us up the charts by commenting and liking our podcast on any place that you listen to this beautiful podcast. Go over to MaydayMediaNetwork.com and check out all of the podcasts on the Mayday. If you want to join the network, go to MaydayMediaNetwork.com and join the Mayday today. Nice supporting cast of characters. Again, follow Sarah not only on Instagram at Daddy-O Sports, but also Generation Mixtapes, where you can find that at the Mayday Media Network. And Sarah, you got anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
No. All right. So Jesus, this hole's gonna get deep. So I'm gonna climb into
She
it.
said.
Yeah. Oh boy. For Sarah Ray Talek, I'm Dave Houghton, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait a minute.
Dude.
So he killed Heavy D.
Oh my God, there's so many people that he is linked to killing.
So when Heavy D says, "Now that we found love, what are we gonna do?" Was Diddy like, "I'm gonna kill you"?
This has been a Mayday Media production.